Hello everyone. In continuation of our lecture series where we are analyzing the text of the drama Macbeth, and so far we have analyzed 5 scenes of act first of this drama, and now we move towards scene 6th. So just a quick reminder of what we have discussed in scene 5th, that after receiving the letter from her husband, Lady Macbeth chastises herself as well as her husband, Macbeth, and she tells her husband to be bold by heart and to look like an innocent flower but be serpent inside. Means he should behave in a civilized or sophisticated way, but he should also keep the murderous thought of killing King Duncan. So, this was the major action that took place in scene 5th. Now, we start the textual analysis of scene 6th. So, as this scene starts, and now I'm sharing the text. So, as this scene starts, this is the same place where the previous scene was set. This is Macbeth's castle, and the characters in this scene are hot boys, servants of Macbeth, attending with torches. Enter Duncan, Malcolm, Donalbain, Banquo, Lennox, Macduff, Rose, Angus, and attendants. So these are the characters of this scene, and this scene is also a perfect example of dramatic irony. So it is also very important to discuss what is dramatic irony is. So dramatic irony, or it is also called tragic irony, it is a figure of speech, and in this speech uh, what is said by the characters in a play has different and more serious meaning to the audience. So what is said by the characters has a different meaning for the audience. So often it happens that what is being said or done on the stage has one meaning for characters concerned and another for spectators who know something that the characters do not know, and the audience is more aware than the characters concerned of the outcome which is either going to occur or has occurred. So this is dramatic irony. And now we start the text of this scene. So as the scene starts, Duncan says, "The castle hath a pleasant seat. The air nimbly and sweetly recommends itself unto our gentle senses." So as the scene starts, King Duncan praises the environment of the castle, and he says that this castle has a beautiful or pleasant seat. Seat here means sight. So the castle has a beautiful sight. The air nimbly and sweetly recommends itself. The air has a sweet fragrance and is pleasing to the senses. So as King Duncan is praising the sweet environment or the peaceful environment of Macbeth's castle, but the audience know that this castle would prove fatal for for King Duncan. Banquo, this guest of summer, the temple haunting martlet, does approve, and Banquo also adds to the praising words of King Duncan, and he says that the bird Martin visits our country every summer, and she keeps its nest in churches only. By his loved mentionary that the heavens breathe, smell wooingly here. This bird has built her nest in this castle. Means now Banquo is comparing the castle of Macbeth with the Holy Church. So in this way, Banquo also praises the environment of Macbeth's castle. No duty freeze, buttress, nor coign of vantage, but this bird hath made his pendant bed and procreant cradle. So in this way Banquo says that it proves that here the air is fresh and fragrant. There is no projection, cornice, support for any other advantageous place in this castle where the bird has not made her nest to breed her eggs. So procreant cradle means the nest where a bird gives its eggs. So this castle is very peaceful and holy, like a church. Where they most breed and haunt, I have observed the air is delicate. And Banquo says that he has observed that the place where Martin live and build their nest has delicate and fragrant air. So in this way, Banquo also praises the sweet environment of this castle. So these dialogues are the perfect example of dramatic irony. Enter Lady Macbeth. Now Lady Macbeth comes to the scene. Duncan, C.C., our honored hostess. The love that follows us sometime is our trouble. And while seeing Lady Macbeth, Duncan reacts that, look, our honored hostess is coming here. And he also says that the love that follows us sometime is our trouble. So this line is also an example of dramatic irony. That for Duncan it means that love which persuades us to visit our relations and friends sometimes causes trouble to them. But the audience knows that the visiting of King Duncan to this palace is a last visit of his life. So the audience know that this is a fatal visiting of King Duncan, which still we thank as love. Herein I teach you how you should beat God. Yield us for your pains and thank us for your trouble. So Duncan says to Lady Macbeth that still it is thankfully accepted as the expression of love. You should pray to God to bless us for the trouble that we are giving to you, for sheer out of love, and also thank us for it. Now, Lady Macbeth says to Duncan, all our service in every point twice done and then done double were poor and single business to contend against those honours deep and broad wherewith your majesty loads our house. So Lady Macbeth reacts to King Duncan's words and she says that all our service in every point twice done. Your majesty has bestowed numerous and deep honours upon us, and whatever service we can render, if repeated twice for our times, would be little and insignificant. And then done double were poor and single business to contend. So, Lady Macbeth says that whatever honours and rewards King Duncan has bestowed upon Macbeth, to compare those rewards and owners, their service is quite little or mean. Against those honours deep and broad, wherewith your majesty lords our house. For those of old and the late dignities heaped upon to them, we rest our hermits. And she says that we shall ever remain grateful to you for all the past and present honours bestowed upon us by you. We remain nothing but people who can pray for you, for we cannot pay you in any other way. So, in this way, Lady Macbeth is also outwardly praising the generous nature of King Duncan, but in her heart she has the most horrible thought, and that is to murder King Duncan. Now Duncan says, "Where is the Thane of Cawdor? We coursed him at the hills and had a purpose to be his purveyor, but he rides well." And Duncan says that, "Where is the Thane of Cawdor? We followed him closely. We caused him at heels and had a purpose to be his purveyor." And Duncan says that we followed him closely because we wanted to be his messenger. Purveyor means messenger. But he writes well. And his great love, sharp as his spur, hath hauled him to his home before us. And Duncan says that, but he writes well, and his love for us prompted him to rush hard, and it has helped him to reach his home before us. Fair and noble hostess, we are your guests tonight. And King Duncan praises Lady Macbeth and says that, fair and noble hostess, we are your guests for tonight. Lady Macbeth, your servants ever have theirs themselves, and what is theirs in compt to make their audit at your highness' pleasure, still to return your own. Lady Macbeth says that, we are ever at your service. Our servants, we ourselves, and whatever belongs to us, are in readiness at your service as your highness pleases. In fact, we are returning to you what really belongs to you. Duncan. Now Duncan reacts, Give me your Duncan, give me your hand. Conduct me to mine host. We love him highly, and shall continue our graces towards him. By your leave, hostess. Duncan says that, give me your hand and lead me to my host. Conduct me to mine host. We love him highly, and shall continue our graces. And Duncan says that we shall continue to extend our favors towards him. By your leave tonight, hostess. So let me be taken to Macbeth. So in this way, scene 6 ends. Thank you.